Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Lotus Devotionals, where we ascend by way of our hearts. Like I always do, I will let you know the ways in which you can support me and the vision that is here, and that is to go to my Linktree account, which is linktr.ee// Larissa Black Lifestyle and Company. However, I will indeed put it in the link below. Also, you can go to my PayPal account if you want to support directly, and that is lifestyle@larissablack.com. So if you feel like giving, if you feel led to give, announcements that I have for this week is that I am a doula, you guys. Woo! So if you are a birthing person or know anyone who is in the Atlanta or surrounding area, please hit me up at lifestyle@larissablack.com. Things that I need are coming soon. Website, all of that. But as of now, you can just email me and we'll get to the business. Okay, now that we got that out the way, let's get into it. So, I had an idea of an episode that I wanted to do. However, I'm still marinating on it. So I was like, okay, Lord, what do you want me to talk about? And I realized this episode was actually in the incubator. So I went ahead and got it and planned it out. And I hope that it blesses you. So today's topic is the power of manifestation. Specifically, I want to give you 5 C words that you can do, or that you should do, or that is necessary to do in order to achieve, attain, get what it is that you're wanting to get. Before we start that, though, as I always mention, and you would know if you follow me for a long time. Oh, another announcement. Let me get back to it. This weekend, on September 30th, I will be releasing the last quarter reading, or the last reading for the last quarter reading of the year, right? So I've done 3 readings so far, public readings, tarot to be exact, for the 3 quarters of the year. And so now that we're going into the last quarter, I will be doing that. But you can find that on my podcast, La'ology. Okay, now back to what I was talking about. The power of manifestation. As you all know, or maybe you do, maybe you don't, I grew up in church, and that is where I, learned. That is the basis of my spiritual journey, and that is the entity that got me to where I am now. And so I appreciate church. And I'm also not giving this as a disclaimer. I'm specifically saying this to make a point. I appreciate church and the things that I've learned and that has taught me. However, some of the dogma that has been transferred to me hasn't always necessarily been the best representation of that word, or the only representation of that word. And when I say word, of course, I'm talking about manifestation. So I pulled up a couple definitions. The first definition is I am going to assimilate to the ways in which we use it in church. The second definition, I'm going to assimilate to the way in which we use it in the spiritual community. And the third definition is my definition that encapsulates them both. And it works. Okay, so the first definition of manifestation, and this is how we see it in church, specifically the Black church, as I was raised in, is a public display of emotion or feeling, or something theoretical made real. Well, that's an idea that has come to pass. That is at vocabulary.com. So an example of that, let's say, we're on the prayer line and somebody's getting prayed for, and you might see them manifest in multiple ways. So you might see them vomiting. You may see them on the floor, shaking, maybe rolling. You may see them bucking And this is not no joke. I'm just, visibly trying to give you an example. Or some sentences that we would say, especially like if our friends got us tight. And I went to high school with churchy people, okay? So if your friend is being nasty or doing something rude, you'll be like, oh, you manifesting. But it was always kind of in a connotation as if you're allowing the enemy to possess you. So you're manifesting. So that's definition number 1. Definition number 2 is to create something or turn something from an idea into reality. And you can find that at berkeleywellbeing.com. BerkeleyWellbeing.com. With that, I say that this is the spiritual world definition because most times when you hear people, let's say on Instagram, social media, Facebook, and they're like, okay, this is how you manifest this. This is how you manifest that. But I can't help but to notice, although most of the time when I do see it in those forums, they're talking about something good, right? So this is how I manifested a new car. This is how I manifested a new man. This is how I manifested a new business idea, some. However, from my experience in the church, the way in which spiritualists use the word manifest, the church demonizes it. Although when people manifest in the church, it is more so of a demonistic, if I may say that word. I think I made that up. Realm. Now, I would like to say excuse if this conversation is triggering. So before we continue, because I am going to I may make more church references, but I just want you to know that I'm not trying to come for it. I'm just simply talking. But after today, and I gave this disclaimer, I'm just going to be talking. Okay. So my definition of manifestation is an outward display of inhibitions or ambitions. So inhibitions is things that's inside of you that's dormant, that is an insecurity or something. And an ambition is something that you want to achieve. Okay. Why is this significant? Why did I use that? Why am I even giving a definition? I want to give the definition because as a person who has been involved in both, I'll say, worlds, and actively have seen and participated in both definitions of manifestations, I want to let you all know that words have meaning and words have multiple meanings. And sometimes we get caught up on one meaning, which causes us to miss out on the blessing or the bigger picture because we won't do a certain action because that word is assimilated to something else. And so we miss the opportunities of manifestation we miss the opportunities of manifestation because we lock ourselves into one definition of manifestation. And if you're not doing it in this particular arena, then it's not worthy, or it's demonic, or it's something other than what you're trying to make it be. So, okay, I went through that. Go ahead, go notes. So here are the 5 things that you should do, or the 5 entities that are necessary in manifestation. Now, I will say that the last time I manifested something, which is my job, I incorporated a specific tactic, a specific action that I committed my intention and energy to. However, the overall principle was not that specific action. It's the, doingness of the action. So let me get to it. One thing that you need, the first seed that you need in order to contribute to your manifestation is confidence. The second thing that you need in order to contribute to your manifestation is courage. Confidence and courage do vary. The next thing that you need is consistency. The next thing that you need is character. And the next thing that you need is control. Now, make sure you listen, because I don't want you to get a perverted definition of control, but I want you to understand and hear what I'm saying. So, why do we need confidence? Confidence, or maybe I don't want to say why do we need confidence, or what is the significance of confidence, right? When it pertains to manifestation. One, you got to believe that you deserve what you're wanting, or you got to believe that you are who you say that you are, right? So, for an example, becoming a doula. I would like to say, and look, I'm smiling. I manifested that because, one, I had the idea and the vision of it. And two, I did the necessary steps that I had to do in order to accomplish that goal. But I needed confidence because this was a new arena for me. It's a new area, a new type of people, new practices, new knowledge. So I had to believe that I would be fully present in my training and the things that I needed to do, and I would accomplish them, and that my work is valuable, right? I believe in myself. I'm confident that when I come here, I'm going to get favor. I'm going to have favor because I have the personality, I got the smile, and I'm likable. So I'm confident in my ability to be myself, to get what I need, and to also give what needs to be given, right? Secondly, you need courage. So not only do you have to believe that you can do it and have a persona about yourself, but you also have to have the courage to do those things. So you ever heard people say, do it scared, right? The act of doing it is the courage. But once you couple that courage with that confidence, baby, it don't need to be fearful, because not only do you believe in yourself, right, or your ability to do it, but you believe in your, dang, I just had the word. Not only do you have the confidence in your ability to do it, but you have the courage to do it, right? So confidence is more so about ability, and courage is more so about the action, right? Because we can have the ability to do something, but if we are stuck in our minds, or we're scared of the next part of what it would mean by doing this, that will also cause us to stay stagnant. So all of these things, you need a balance of it together. Next, you need consistency. So what I was talking about earlier about the action that I did continuously is called the 369 manifestation. And basically what you do is you take your journal and you write down the entity or the thing or the beingness that you're trying to attract. So 3 times, and you write 369 every day. So for 3, you will write the thing that you're trying to attract. So for me, I would have said, new job, and I'm giving y'all the recipe. New job I love by August 1st, 2022. Boom. 6 times you write, I am receiving a new job I love by August 1st, 2022. Last thing, you write this 9 times. I have received the new job I love. Thank you, universe. You can say thank you, universe. You can say thank you, God. You can say thank you, whomever you're paying grace or homage or gratitude to. That's the word. Who you're paying gratitude to. I'm not going to go into why I decided to say universe. However, I'm going to just say the law of attraction. So then there's that. So you got your 369. In addition to your consistency. So you putting your energy towards things. And not only did I do the 369 manifestation every day, writing in my journal, but I did do different applications, just put myself out there. And it took courage to do that because I had not put myself out there in so long. And I'm going to go through that in a moment. After consistency, or in addition to consistency, you need character. So this is the thing that you're asking for. But does your livelihood line up to that, right? You want a new job, but are you a people person? You want to be a doula, but do you like kids? Can you be nice to kids? Can you give what is needed? Even if you don't want to be there, will you wake up and help this parent? Things like that. Lastly, control. And when I said control earlier, I said let's try not to be perverted about it. But when I say control, I really mean management, right? And so, for an example, with control, if I say hello to someone and someone's nasty to me, do I have to respond the way that they responded to me? Or do I have autonomy over my being and control over myself and control over the situation, because I'm going to respond in the way that's natural to me? I'm not going to succumb to the way in which you responded to me, because what they say, two wrongs don't make it right. And it's not even about trying to be right or wrong. However, it's being true to yourself. So let me tell y'all this, how it pertains to each of these things. And I hope that you are able to take this. And, there's no right or wrong way, right? Each scenario varies. But my hope is to give specific principles that you can incorporate into your life. Once you start incorporating these things into your life, you will see a change. That's the whole point of manifestation. Like I said, the outward display of inhibitions or ambitions. So what is in the heart? You know how the word says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So your mouth, when you say things, that is a manifestation of what you feel in your heart, in your spirit, in your soul, in your mind. It's how you reacted. So also when it comes to control, I think one reason why I'm able to not respond how others respond to me is because that's not in me. So anyway, after I graduated with my master's degree, I was jobless, right? And before that, I was the education director of a youth development center. And I was making $40,000. Okay. And I was 21. So I was like, okay, just got out of college, graduated, like, okay, this is the life. However, I felt the call and the beckon to pursue my master's degree. Unfortunately, kind of not unfortunate, but unfortunately, when I started my program, my job was basically like, and I'm not going to put it totally on them, but y'all know higher education or post-grad, what am I saying? Their classes are at night. Okay, classes are at night. So it really was a conflicting schedule, but I just felt like y'all should work with me, but also it is what it is, right? So I had to basically give up that position, which is fine. I felt like I was going to be protected and was, but there was a journey. And prior to that moment, prior to leaving that establishment or that organization, every job that I always had, or every job that I wanted, I always had. And every job I always had, it was easy to get, whether it be because I knew somebody or it was just, I had the courage, I had all of the things, like da-da-da. However, once I left that job because of school, I would say my confidence started to diminish, because soon thereafter, I started working at a kiosk in the mall selling drinks. I don't want to say the name of the company, but if you know, you know, right? And I used to just be so upset because, oh dang, and I worked at another restaurant before that. But in both of those experiences, my feelings was just hurt because people used to be so mean to me. And specifically at the kiosk, I was mad because I'm like, I got my master's degrees. Don't talk to me like that. Da, 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 da. And granted, you shouldn't let people talk to you however they want. However, you don't have to give it back to them. I don't have to be ugly or bitter as they are to me. And at that point, my heart was definitely bitter because I felt like I deserved better and I shouldn't have been there. Which may have been true, but I was missing that it was a lesson. So one day I was just like, something happened and the manager was right there. And it was just a lot of stuff going on. And I had been praying and stuff. And I was like, okay, God, I don't want to be here no more. And then my manager was right there. And I was like, after my shift is over, I'm not coming back. So I didn't go back. And I had just graduated with my master's. So I'm like, okay, Lord, blah, blah, blah. So during the summertime, and this is like a random part in the story. This is not the manifestation part. But I'm telling you how my character, how my being was prior to the manifestation part. So I was just so sad, like, oh my God, I just went from making $40,000 to making $12 an hour to making nothing now because I quit. And so, yeah. So thanks be to God, I knew somebody that knew somebody, and they asked me to work at their shop. So I started working at the shop. However, it still was not cutting. And mind you, right after I finished my master's degree in May, so that was May, so I got June, July, and then I applied for my PhD program, which I'm in now. So school started in August. So I worked at that shop from June to August, or maybe to September. So once I left there, again, I knew I wasn't supposed to be there, but now I'm at the same place I just was at, jobless. And what's helping me now is being in school, right? So I was just sad, and I'm like, okay, God, what am I supposed to do? Now, here is my first ideal of, or like my first notion of intentionally manifesting. Even though I had a different viewpoint then than I do now, the principles were still the same. So here comes the confidence, right? I decided that, okay, every morning I'm going to Uber. I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. like I'm going to regular work. And I'm just going to Uber every day. And I got up and I did it. And I Uber like probably 4 hours a day. I would do like 6 to 8 or 9, go back in the house, take a nap, and then try to do maybe 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 sometimes. But anyway, the point is I got up with a cheerful heart, even if I wasn't cheerful. And I started to do it. And one thing why I really did not want to do that job is because, one, I don't like to drive. So, and maybe I'm okay with driving more than them, but if I can help it, I don't want to do it. So, one, I just didn't want to do it because I don't like to drive. 2, what else? 1, I didn't want to do it because I didn't like the job. 2, strangers. And then I gotta be nice to y'all too. So that's 2.5. You a stranger and I gotta be nice to you. And one time this lady wanted me to get her suitcase and put it in the trunk. She gave me 1 star too. Ooh, sorry, Lord. And then 3, like I said, and not coming for anybody who likes to do it. That just was not what I liked. And I felt like I was better than that. But look, you see how character comes into play? Because when you feel like you're better than something, you start resenting it. Like, what makes you better than it? And if you was that much better than it, you got 2 degrees and you Ubering. So what's up? That's how I had to talk to myself. You know what I'm saying? So one day I was driving after doing it consistently for like 2 or 3 weeks. I was driving. And I was playing the music, playing my little music, and I got a customer or client or passenger, and he got in the car, and he put his headphones in, but he ain't connect the Bluetooth. So he was trying to tune out my music, and he gonna play some PJ Morton. So because he didn't put the headphones in, I could hear it. So I said, oh, if you want to listen to PJ, I got PJ, right? So now I'm making the connection. That's the bonus C. I made a connection with him. So I put on PJ Morton, and he's like, yeah, da 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 da. And lo and behold, I take him to a school. And I said, here's the courage, because I'm stepping out. First, I had to display character, by talking to him, making that connection, like I said, and even confidence in the sense of, I'm about to call you out for trying to play music and you don't even know I play that music, even though it was jokingly. These are how it, ties it together. And I do have another example of confidence. So I was like, oh, do y'all need any subs here? And look, I even lowball myself because I thought I could only get a sub position, right? And I had been down and out for so long, I questioned my ability because I hadn't been working in my field for a couple years. So I just was sad, you know what I'm saying? I didn't believe in myself. So I just stepped out on faith. I'm like, do y'all need subs? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna hit up the principal today. Give me your number, blah, 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 blah. Long story short on that, I gave him my number. The principal emailed me. She said, I saw your, I think I subbed one time. And she said, you know, seeing your resume, we have a full-time position. Would you like that position? What? I like that position. So then I got that job there. So the whole point of that is confidence, courage, consistency, character. Consistency. I got up every morning as if I was going to work because I just believed something was going to come for me. Character. Even though I didn't want to talk to people, I had to put that aside and welcome people into my car. Hello, how are you? Good morning. I didn't drag it and talk to them the whole ride, but I did make them feel like they belong. Like, shoot. Courage. Asking him, can you do me this solid? Confidence. When I went to my interview, I interviewed, okay? Control. Even though I felt like I wasn't where I wanted to be, I took matters into my own hands and I said, you know what? It's going to be better for me. And this is what I'm going to do to make it better. And then it got better. So that's one instance. Going to right now, I told y'all about the 369. So in about May, around April, May, I started with my 369 manifestation. And I just wasn't necessarily, I didn't even know that I would be at a new job, but I just believed it, right? And maybe I didn't even believe it at first, but the more I wrote it, the more it became real to me. And so I would do that at work, you know what I'm saying? And that's the consistency right there. I literally had been in each classroom at my old job. And I kind of detested change. And I think my employer knew that. And I ain't going to put it on her. But she used to F with me. And I mean, so even in that situation, I had to grow. Because at first, when I got there, it was cute. Like, okay, we happy that we got a new employer. But also after a while, everybody gets comfortable and their self starts to show. And so I'm not going to lie, I was intimidated by that person. Specifically because they were older and we just got to respect our elders, right? So even if you're doing something to me, breaking the generational curse of I can't really say nothing to you because you're older than me. So then after a while, I was getting upset and I was really like responding back. But then after a while, I learned how to control the situation, to control the narrative, right? So every day I'm writing my manifestations and I'm coming to work and I'm going to smile. Hey, good morning. And I'm going to do my best job. And when you move me to another classroom, I'm going to serve with gladness and I'm going to do my best. And I'm not even tight because I know that you asking me to go to another classroom because I'm capable. And nobody else can get the job done but me. So it is what it is. And I got to sprinkle a little of me everywhere in this building. And so I got closer to the front of the building. This is the last class she asked me to help out in. And I was just like, all right, Lord, me being closer to the front, do that mean I'm on my way out of here? And lo and behold, I started with my manifestations. So the 369. So when the summertime came, mind you, I still don't have a new job. I'm just believing, right? When the summertime came, I did summer school. But every time I do summer school, it's always at a different place. And at the summer school, the other teachers, I was a para, you guys. The other teachers would be like, you know, Miss Black, you're really good, da 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 da. And low-key, I'm a little tight because I'm like, I know. Like, you don't think I know that? I'm trying to move on up a little higher, but I just don't know how to do it. But, you know, they encouraged me. They inspired me. They kind of, you know, gave me some tips. And the company that I work for, they were doing like this program. And basically, paras can become teachers. And who would have thunk? You know, I was only writing my manifestations down for about a month and a half. I didn't know that this program was just going to come out of nowhere. So one day I'm checking my email and I see it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is for me. You guys, I applied. And you know, when you do the general application, when you work for the company, it just goes everywhere. And all I know I wrote is I am receiving a job that I love. That was my specificity right there, right? Because love can have a lot to do with it, right? It can have a lot to do with different components. So I just didn't want to have a new job that I'm just doing stuff, but I want to be somewhere that I'm comfortable, that I enjoy being, that I don't feel like, oh, why do I have to go to work today? Like, no, I want to be excited or at least motivated about where I'm going every day. Okay. So I ended up doing one interview. They called, they asked me to do an interview. I'm like, okay, I do the interview. As soon as I do that interview, the principal of where I work now calls. And she's like, Ms. Black. She didn't even interview me, y'all. She just like, Ms. Black, I seen your resume and we need you here. So me trying to be all modest, like, oh, well, I just had an interview yesterday. Look at me about to miss my blessing. But I wasn't trying to miss my blessing. I just wasn't trying to, you know, burn any bridges. And even with my previous principal, I kept her abreast of each step. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I'm just about to leave you hanging. Like, no, this is what I'm doing. This is what I see. Da, 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 da. Okay. And she was like, you don't even got an interview. Like, I see it for you, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, well, I did have an interview yesterday, so can I have some time? And I remember saying to her before we hung up, I said, I'm going to be where I'm supposed to be, right? I just believe that. And so I just prayed on it. I prayed on it. And then the next week, the other school didn't call me back. And I'm emailing them like, okay, last week y'all were just beasting, but if y'all, and the thing is, not even if y'all want me or not, however, professionalism. You can't even email me back and say no thank you or whatever the case may be. I don't know. Because that's going to get me tight. So I called back my current principal. And, the thing was, too, I wanted a specific position. And this is how it is. When you are confident and you grow that courage, right? And you control the narrative and control the situation, there was a specific position that I wanted. But it was ready, but not quite ready. And so it was like, well, we do have this position, but can you just take this position and then we're going to get you in this position? And that was a little shaky for me because I'm like, God, is this the test? Long story short, I was able to get the position that I wanted. And I do enjoy going to work every day. And it's very different from the environment that I came from. And I'm so, 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 so happy, right? However, I realized that I had to do the work, right? Being at a place that you don't want to be in, but acting like you're in the new place, right? You take the control out of the environment or the people that's around you that's trying to keep you down, and you inhale that and you absorb it for yourself, and now it's just you and God. You know what I'm saying? Or you in the universe, you attract the law of one. You attract what you are. And now it's like, even at my new place of work, I still deal with humans, right? Because I don't want to paint the narrative like, oh, it's just the best and da da da. However, I am very pleased and content and happy. And I love going to work every day. And even the days when I'm tired, I'm able to get through the days without panic attack, stress. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to get through my day. It's a beautiful experience. However, I had to start that in a place that I did not want to be in, because that built my character. So now when people try me at my new place of work, because you know they're gonna try you regardless of where you at, I have the tools. I don't even play with you like that. Like, I got the tools to shut it down. And so all of that to say, whatever it is that you're wanting, or whatever it is, however you are imagining your life to be in the future, whether that future be in 2 weeks, 6 months, 2 years, you have the power and the ability to call it forth. But calling something forth isn't just saying that you are mine, but calling something forth is saying that you are mine and aligning your being with that mineness, right? Because me being not confident or me being in a stupor about not being where I feel like I should be because I have a master's degree, I wouldn't have been able to be here. But I had to build those things. I had to build my character. I had to learn how to deal with situations. Because one thing about me, baby, I know how to write an email. Okay? And with my last supervisor, just one last thing, we would go at it. And before, when she would chastise me via email, I just wouldn't respond. And that was the passive route. But then I'm like, nah, you playing. So they would write their email and I would respond. And then they would respond, my response is in red, and then I would respond. My response is in blue. And they will respond and I will respond. And it just is what it is. And not that I'm trying to be, this is Hippolyta, sorry. Do you see her growing a baby? And not that I'm trying to be confrontational, but it's just that, hey, honey, I'm a person too. As you deserve respect, so do I. And sometimes you have to allow people to see that. But if you're not confident in yourself, if you don't have courage, if you don't have consistency or the character of control, and sometimes these things come as you're working through the other thing, right? Because if being consistent to me is one thing that builds character. But also, character helps you to be consistent. So these things are interchangeable and they flow together. And so, with the power of manifestation, I pray that you have taken this lesson or you taken my speechment and you do with it as you will, and that it has blessed you and it encourages you to do whatever is next in your life. Like I said, with my doula-ship, never in a million years I would have thought. But I wrote it down and here we are. And so I hope that I have given you some tools that'll help you make it to your next level in life. Be blessed, be loved, and be creative. Bye, y'all.